What's up, everybody? Eric here, the creator and developer of AutoSpec. I just wanted to make a video on the specifics on how to get installed, how to bind your key bindings, how to set up your mouse, everything you need to know just so that it's as easy as possible for you to find my posts and get right into gameplay. I understand that the whole process sometimes isn't really intuitive and there aren't a whole lot of people doing exactly what it is that I do. So I thought a video would be a nicer format than just kind of reading the step-by-step instructions. So with that being said, let's start with the step-by-step instructions. A lot of the things that I'm going to say in this video, or everything I'm going to say in this video, is all covered in this guide. This guide probably has it explained much better than I'm about to, but let's just start here. So the first thing you're going to need are two add-ons. Those are WeakOrs 2, which is kind of the add-on that runs the um, visual display that I develop, and then GNOME Sequencer Enhanced, which is the add-on, obviously, that um, helps us to sequence our abilities in really creative ways to try to get the most damage or healing or whatever the case may be. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to do is to bind. This is where people get really tripped up. You are going to want to bind a keyboard key to your mouse button. Now, I'd like to say that you don't have to bind a keyboard key to your mouse button. You could bind all of the sequences to, say, the E key or the 1 key. But the reason that I like to put it all on my side mouse button is because ergonomically it does not interfere with gameplay whatsoever. Just for me to hold my side mouse button, it's almost like, it's like my do damage button. Whereas if I have it on E, then my movement hand is compromised. Then I lose, the dexterity in that hand to do other actions that the game might want us to do. So I'm not going to cover exactly what you need to do to bind to anything other than the mouse. I'm just going to stick to the mouse, but know that if you're computer literate, you could absolutely do that. But so I bind a keyboard key to my mouse, and the reason it's important to bind a keyboard key to your mouse is because we can't bind the sequences directly to a mouse click, say mouse number 4, which is usually people's side mouse button. You just can't bind a sequence, or you can't bind abilities to a mouse button. So what I do is I replace that mouse button with a keyboard key because we can keybind sequences to a keyboard key. So I bind numberpad plus to my side mouse button. Then you're gonna have to use your mouse's software. It might be Razer, it might be Corsair. Look, I have all these links ready for you. These are the ones that might work for you because we need repeat click functionality. The way GSE works is every time you click, it moves on to the next step. So you could try to click 20 times per second for, say, 10 minutes throughout a dungeon or a raid, but it's just not going to happen. So you're going to have to need repeat functionality on your mouse button that you have bound to a keyboard to a keyboard key. So that's I hope that covers everything. This is where I get the most questions. So I hope that really covers everything. Um, that's why we bind to our mouse button. That's why it has to be a keyboard key. That's exactly what we need to do here. And I don't have my mouse software pulled up. Everyone's is different, but I can show you this. That you can see down here in the chat. Um, I have opened it and I'm holding my mouse button down. We just get a steady stream of numberpad plus. That is exactly because I have bound numberpad plus to my mouse button and I have it on repeat click. All right, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I just really want to be clear because that's definitely what people have the most trouble with. Anyways, moving on to the next step is to import the GSE sequences and the WeakOrs. So let's go ahead and open up my demonology. So this one's not posted yet, but this is what the posts kind of look like. It changes sometimes, but so we have a weak order import. You're going to click here. Then you're going to go in game. You're going to type /WA. Boom. And right up here, we can close all this. Right up here at the top, you're going to hit new aura, or excuse me, you're going to hit import, and we import. I am not going to overwrite this because mine's probably more up to date than this post. But you're going to hit import, and boom, you're going to get an AutoSpec package for your class. All right, so and this is it down here. Okay, so weak aura is imported. Then the next thing we're going to need to do is go back to the post. We're going to need to import the GSE sequences. All right, so then we type /GSE to open up GSE. We get this little toolbar. We are going to go to down here to import, and we paste. And obviously, I'm not going to import because I'll just overwrite the one I have, but that is how you import GSE sequences. So now that we have everything imported, we need to we need to connect our mouse button to the GSE sequences. So I've kind of done this 1,000 times, but these setup, I made it as easy as possible to read. Please, if you get stuck, check this out. But I'll show you exactly how we do that in game. So here's GSE. We are going to go to this tab, to the sequences. This is massive. We can make that a lot smaller. We go down here to keybinds, and again into keybinds. We're going to create a new keybind. So I'm on Warlock, Demonology Warlock, Destruction Warlock. So you're going to find the sequence called no mod, right? And what that means is that we want to bind this to our no mod, meaning our mouse button, our activation key with no modifiers. So we go to no mod, and we click and we save, right? So boom, now we have a no mod sequence. Then we are going to go to the shift sequence and we bind this. I'm holding shift and I hit my activation button, which shows up as number pad plus. But again, this is my side mouse button, and we save. So we are going to do the same for control and the same for alt. Now, if you've saved these, you should see that you have populated some new key bindings down here under the spec that you're binding. And to test if you've done this correctly, I'll have a link to this somewhere, like a wrap. Let's see, this should be loading. So I'm holding my mouse button, right? And it's saying no mod. Now I'm going to tap shift and we should see this change to shift. And then if I tap it again, we should see control. And my guy's doing a couple actions here because I'm actually running these. And then alt, right? So if you see this running, you know it's working. You know it's working. You know you're configured, you're set up. And yeah, and then there's just some other little instructions here. So I hope that covered and really touched base with how to get initialized with AutoSpec. I'm not going to cover the specifics on how to use it or like the details on trigger logic or initiate combat logic, anything like that. I just want to be dedicated to setting it up and getting it started. If you have any questions, you can find me wherever you found my post or wherever I'm advertising my links. I'm not going to give anything specific because it changes. And yeah, I hope that answers a lot of people's questions. What I develop here takes an enormous amount of time, and the last thing I want is there to be a barrier to entry for just getting started and getting set up. So, um, that being said, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you have great gameplay, and I hope you find it easy to use. And I'd love to hear your feedback. And see you in the next one. Thanks.